Hello everyone, this is Richard Eaton, your CTEC 134 Database Administration Instructor. This video is a continuation of a prior video that I entitled Core Relational Database Management Concepts and Terms Part 2. So we'll consider this a Part 3 of that video. In that Part 2 video, very quickly, I want to recap what we talked about. We have 5 tables in the TEL Distributors database, and we looked at the first 2, the sales rep table and the customer table. We identified the rep num field or column in the rep table as being a primary key. There are no duplicate values here. And when we define a primary key in SQL Server, it will not allow duplicate values to be placed in here. It takes care of that automatically for you. We also defined in the customer table, the customer num field as being a primary key. So we see no duplicates here. And again, SQL Server won't allow duplicates. We went over and we looked at this field called rep num in the customer table, and notice that that matches the rep num in the rep table. In the customer table, this is referred to as a foreign key, and these values here match the values over here. So what we have is a way of linking these 2 tables together, but based on these 2 common fields, the rep num field. And in this case, the relationship between the rep table and the customer table is 1 to many. One record in the rep table can relate to many records in the customer table. So I'm going to get the rep table out of our way so we have a little more room to work with. And I'm going to focus now on the customer table and the next 3 tables. What I want to look at first is the order table. Obviously, customers place orders, and most customers will have more than 1 order. So here's what our table looks like. We have an order number. These values are unique, and therefore we have defined them as a primary key in the order table. And then we have an order date, and we have a customer num field. The customer num field here has duplicates in it. If we look, here's a 126 and another 126. And here's a 586 and a 586. And so what it tells us is that certain customers have, at least 2 customers have 2 orders. And we relate this customer num field here back to this customer num field here in a 1-to-many relationship. One customer in the customer table can relate to several order line tables based on that common number. So for example, customer number 260 happens to be Brookings Direct, and they have order number 51614, and Brookings Direct in this order, 51619, is the second of the 2 orders for that particular customer. Notice though that we don't have what items they purchased. It would seem logical, I think, and it's logical to most beginners, to expand a table like this and include a column for item numbers coming from the item table. But that presents a problem, and actually it's a major problem by adding item numbers to this table, because if a customer has 4 or 5 or 6 items, that would force you to put 4 or 5 or 6 values into one of these columns, which is actually a no-no in relational databases. There's actually a rule, it's called a normalization rule, and in this case, a first normal form rule, that says any entry into any one of these cells must be single valued. So how do we deal with it? Well, I'm going to get the customer number field out of the way, customer table out of the way, and get us a little more room to work with here with the 3 tables. I'm going to put the items table over here to the right. Oops. Got it wrong. I want to put the items table over here to the right, and the table called order line table here in the middle. Notice in the items table that the item number is unique, not duplicated. And so it's a primary key in this table. Now let's look at the order line table. Notice that the order number in the order line table is not unique. I see a 51610 and a 51610. And a 51617 and a 51617. What that's telling us is that up here for 51610, this particular customer has more than one line item on the order. In other words, they've ordered 2 things. They've ordered a KL78, which is a pickup sticks right here. And 51610, that order has an item TR40, which happens to be tic-tac-toe. If this customer wanted to order something else, they wanted to order Skittles, which is a BR23, we would just come down here to the end and we would type in 51610 and a BR63, and the number ordered and the quoted price, the price that we're selling it to them for. And if they ordered yet another thing, we would add another line, another line, another line. So with this concept, the order number 51610 for customer number 334 can have 1, 2, 3, 10, 20, 100 items. We just keep adding rows for each item that they ordered. Notice obviously that the item number is not duplicate, is not unique here, because different customers order some of the same products. We can see maybe, okay, here's an FD11 and an FD11. This FD11 for order number 51614 was for customer 260. This FD11 for order number 51619 was for order number 126. So we have 2 different customers ordering an FD11, which is a rocking horse. The relationship between the orders table and the order line table is 1 to many. One order number here can appear many times over here. The relationship between the item table is 1 to many. One item here can relate to several items in the item number table over here. This is a many-to-many relationship. So whenever you have the situation, a 1 to many pointing to a table and a 1 to many pointing to that table, we have what's called a many-to-many relationship. What's the primary key here? Well, it turns out it can't be order number and it can't be item number because those are duplicated. But if we included both these numbers together, if we join these two columns here together, and we said the value 51608 CD33, those combined or concatenated together are unique. Here's a better example, 51610 KL78, 51610 TR40. If we joined those two values together, they would be unique. And so in a relational database, what we do is we say, we're going to define a compound primary key. And the compound primary key is made up of two or more fields combined together. So we would combine the order number and the item number. That doesn't mean that there are two primary keys. It means there's only one primary key, but it's made up of two values. So that's all we're going to do in this video for now. Thank you.